Could we get better at predicting this kind of weather? Is it a real sign of climate change? Should we be doing more to anticipate future storms? And if it is climate change, how do we make plans? Well, with me now to discuss this is Nick Greeley, an energy consultant, and Alastair Harper, who's head of politics at the Green Alliance. Alastair Harper, how do we plan for this kind of change?
Well, we need to listen to the experts. The government has employed a lot of people over a number of years, funded a lot of people at the Met Office, various universities, to tell them exactly how this is expected to hurt us in the years to come, and that's what we need to be ready for.
Nick Greeley, are we as prepared as we should be?
Well, I think when it comes to the weather, we have to kind of take what we're given. I would agree that certainly this shows many signs of climate change. There is the debate, of course, of is this simply weather? Weather we can't do anything about. Everybody always talks about it, but everybody always seems to talk about climate change and not do anything about it either. And I think that there are some positive things that the government should be doing.
Like what?
Well, for example, I think one of the things we have to do is to realize the role that natural gas can play in inserting renewables into the energy mix. And, natural gas and renewables belong together. We're both going to be around for a very long time. And the sooner that we start working together, the sooner we are going to start reducing carbon into the world, because this, of course, is a global problem.
Yeah.
And globally, we've seen a revolution just in the past 5-6 years about natural gas. And I think that policy hasn't yet quite caught up with that.
Alastair Harper, that's an argument often presented, isn't it? That even if the UK were to change its habits, its energy generation policies or whatever, it would take not only the UK, but most other countries in the world to do the same to have any effect, wouldn't it?
We all have to act around the world on mitigating climate change. There's also the issue of what the UK has to do with our infrastructure. There's horrible stuff we're seeing around the country now. Your coverage has been pretty horrific, and that's the reality that we're all trying to avoid. When this stuff happens, it brings the country to a standstill, and there's a lot of stuff we can do with our homes, with our rail, and with the energy we produce that can make us more resilient to this sort of impact.
But we need to have a cause and effect, don't we? And is that cause and effect really there? I mean, if somebody was to make a personal decision to use less energy or to switch some kind of more greener fuel as an individual, do we really, as a society, then see a change in weather patterns within what time frame? Any time frame?
Within any time frame, yeah, but what we need to think about for this is it's a trailer for a film we really don't want to watch, and this is a warning to us that we need to act on mitigating it to reduce the kind of impacts we're going to get. Yeah, we need to adapt to the stuff we're seeing now, but we also really need to mitigate. And that we can act on. We've got time to change things. We already are. Luckily, there are investments happening all around the world. China's the world's biggest renewable investor. We need to work with the technologies that we have. And I know Nick has his area of expertise in shale gas, and I'm not evangelical on that. But I think for the UK to benefit from shale, we're looking at about 10 years until it's deployed. Even then, there's a few problems with whether it actually reduces our coal burning. What we need to do is do what we're ready to do now. We've got 80% of our infrastructure planned is low carbon. We need to make sure we get on and deliver that and actually make an impact on the amount of fossil fuels we're putting in the air.
Well, Nick, really, let's talk about low carbon. I mean, it's an expression that's bandied around.
Yep.
Is there anything we could be doing more about low carbon right now, but we're not doing yet?
Well, certainly. I mean, number one, of course, efficiency is key. Number two, I think that we do have to look at the reality of how natural gas can help the insertion of renewable fuels. I think that we need on an EU-wide basis, we need to stop worrying about actual technologies and worry more about reducing carbon. And I think that we need a carbon price. And then in 2015, I think that we should start getting rid of coal, because that is what we can really do, I think.
That's, with respect, easier said than done, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I think with respect, an 80% renewable target for 2050 is a pretty tough order too. I think what people have not yet realized, because this has come so quickly, is that we do have the possibility of making substantial inroads into coal. In China, for example, which has a huge amount of natural gas, which we didn't think that they had 10 years ago.
Alastair Harper, one thought to you. You know the way that the news cycle works. We're reporting on the inclement and disastrous, in one case, fatal weather now. But, you know, in a week, in 10 days' time, it will have gone off the top of the agenda. How do you persuade politicians and others with influence that maybe it shouldn't drift off the agenda, it should stay at or near the top?
Well, these horrible lessons that we're having to learn now, and the Prime Minister keeps referring to the lessons we need to learn, we need to act on what we're seeing, because it's unfortunately not going to go away. It's going to come back. All the science shows that. And I think we're at the point where any serious political party can't be dismissive of that idea. We can't just live with it. Climate change won't make our lives better. It'll make it a lot worse. And that's going to rise and rise as a political issue. And it comes down to whether our leaders can see that and are able to provide the answers that we need.
Alastair Harper and Nick Greeley. Gentlemen, thank you both very much.
Thank you.